will start with a few short greetings, indeed short, then we'll have lunch, and then we will have the two keynote addresses. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. It is the 27th Annual Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum. This is an international summit about Greece taking place in New York. It's 27 years, a long time, and I think this event is taking place right now when things for Greece are the stars are so aligned. So we have hosted this event during difficult times, but now we're hosting it at a time that Greece is flying very high for the right reasons and can still fly higher. All I'd like to say is I'd like to thank, we're organizing this event together with the New York Stock Exchange and the Athens Exchange that was recently acquired by Euronext. I would like to thank the three main sponsors of the event, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Tsakos Energy Navigation. Forgive me if I don't thank everyone, but the point is that this is an event where a number of international banks year after year support this event and contribute materially to the quality of the attendees and the investor meetings. I would like to thank everybody for making this event possible, to you for attending it, to the companies for presenting, and so on. I would like to thank the extensive and high-quality Greek government delegation that we have with us today, headed by the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Kostis Hatzidakis. I will not name every single minister so that I don't forget anybody, and I'd like to thank all of you for being with us today. I'd like to thank also the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy, Joshua Volz, for representing the American government and for really elevating our event so thank you very, very much for joining us today. There are other government officials as well. I will keep the protocol and not mention them so I don't forget anyone. Thank you very much. Let's start with a brief message from the Prime Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I address you all at the 27th Annual Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum, a gathering that over the years has become an important bridge between Greece and the US investment community. As 2025 draws to a close, I would like to share with you some of my thoughts on the state of our economy and its prospects for the new year. Greece continues its progress, transforming itself into an increasingly attractive investment destination. Our country offers high growth opportunities as manifested by market outcomes for all Greek asset classes, offers sound fiscal fundamentals, a clear geopolitical orientation, and of course, the very important factor of political stability. There are excellent investment opportunities in multiple sectors, from traditional ones such as tourism, logistics, infrastructure, and agri-food, to new ones such as energy, manufacturing, life sciences, and of course, technology. We attract rising volumes of FDI and financial investment, confirming Greece's spectacular turnaround from crisis to recovery and increasing prosperity. Our close ties with the United States are going from strength to strength. Last month, we had the opportunity to sign in Athens far-reaching energy agreements relating to the distribution of US LNG, starting from Greece and going north into numerous countries of the region, up to and including Ukraine, and offshore exploration drilling in the Ionian Sea as a partnership between Greek and US energy companies. These agreements strengthen further the already strong ties between our two countries and cement Greece's position as a key energy gateway and economic hub for Southeast Europe and beyond. Based on the sound economic fundamentals and political stability we have put in place over the course of our administration, I am confident that 2026 will be another successful year for the Greek economy as a whole, for FDI, and of course for the Greece-US bilateral ties. I invite each and every one of you to be part of Greece's economic success story.
Thank you. I would like to invite Chris Taylor, the head of the New York Stock Exchange. They have been our partner for this event for so many years, and on Wednesday we're going to celebrate the 21st consecutive Greek American Issuer Day. I mean, I was talking to Chris, how many things in life have a a continuous tradition of 21 years. So thank you, Chris, for your partnership and friendship during the difficult times and, of course, during the good times now.
Thank you, Nikolas. Really appreciate it. I love coming to this event because I get a promotion every time I come here. I'm Chief Development Officer and Global Head of Listings. Nikolas and Olga, thank you for inviting us to be a sponsor of this event. You know, along with our counterparts at Euronext and the Athens Stock Exchange, we'd love to champion the public markets, a place where companies in this room could come and raise capital to grow and invest in their businesses in the most transparent market in the world. And it's events like this, 27 years, quite an accomplishment that brings together the ecosystem of the public markets together so that we can continue to expand the reach of public investing. So thank you for having us again. It is absolutely our pleasure. I will see you Wednesday afternoon for the closing bell. Let's hope for an up market so we can celebrate the only way we know how to. Thank you.
Let's have a picture together with
Oh,
Olga.
sure.
By the way, we have the pleasure of seeing Chris more often during the year because we host a number of maritime events, and of course, Greek shipping is a very big part of the listing universe at the New York Stock Exchange. Now let's pass on to a brief message from Stéphane Boujnah, the CEO of Euronext. Big news, last week they concluded the acquisition of the Athens Exchange.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to speak at the 27th Annual Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum. This forum is about building on success, unlocking Greece's investment potential. The successful acquisition of the Athens Group by Euronext marks a very important advancement of this ambitious vision. This integration is about combining unique strengths Greece has long embodied: excellence, innovation, and superior entrepreneurship. It holds a strategic geographic position as a gateway to regions with very high potential but underserved in terms of capital market infrastructure. It benefits from a sophisticated financial community and a very resilient economy. As a matter of fact, the recovery of the Greek public accounts is just impressive. There is also sectorial momentum in key industries that are expanding and attracting international investments. Greece today stands as a strategic hub at the crossroad of Europe and the Eastern Mediterranean. It connects global investors to one of the most promising economic corridors in the world. Euronext will be an accelerator of the integration of Greek capital markets in global flows. Just because Euronext is the leading European capital market infrastructure in Europe with a successful federal model, we bring a single and state-of-the-art technology platform, a single order book, and a single liquidity pool, which is today the largest liquidity pool in Europe. We have a strong track record in the development of capital markets in countries that we have entered into. Greece will become part of Euronext's integrated European equity market with an aggregated capitalization that is twice that of the London equity market and 3 times that of the Frankfurt equity market. Greek companies will now have direct European reach, unlocking new opportunities for growth, for large IPOs and for SME listings. Local investors in Greece will gain access to Euronext-listed companies and innovative financial products. Local market participants will benefit from seamless connectivity to European markets and a harmonized post-trade framework. At the same time, global market participants will be able to trade Greek companies on Euronext's single platform, significantly improving market liquidity. Greece will operate on the same cutting-edge infrastructure used by other Europeans' most advanced markets, delivering speed, delivering security, delivering reliability at scale for global investors. This is the beginning of an ambitious new chapter, both for Athens and for Euronext. We are extremely proud to embark on this shared journey with our dear Greek colleagues, with our new Greek clients, and with all our new Greek partners. Together, we are building a stronger, more connected European capital markets. Thank you.
This is one of the major positive developments in Greece. We're delighted to have Stéphane Boujnah deliver this message. Now we have a message from the CEO of the Athens Stock Exchange, Yianos Kontopoulos, our partner for this event. So if we can have this short video.
Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies that I'm unable to join you in person today at the 27th Annual Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum. Nonetheless, I am delighted to address you remotely and share an update on the significant progress of the Athens Stock Exchange and the Greek capital market over the past year. 2025 has been a milestone year for Athens, marked by outstanding financial performance, strong market momentum, and transformative strategic developments. During the first 9 months of 2025, our turnover increased by more than 62%, EBITDA nearly doubled, and earnings after tax increased by 103%, reflecting the continuing strength and resilience of the Greek market. We also recorded historic activity levels, with average daily trading value reaching 210 million euros, international investor participation rising to a record 69%, and total capital raised amounting to 1.4 billion through rights issues, bond issuances, and new listings. Equally important, the successful completion of the Euronext tender offer in November marks the beginning of a new chapter for the Athens Stock Exchange. By joining Europe's largest and most integrated market infrastructure, Athens has an unprecedented opportunity to accelerate its strategic ambitions, deepen market liquidity, expand international reach, and create new financing pathways for Greek companies. Together with Euronext, we are working to build a stronger, more connected, and more competitive market for the future, one that supports long-term growth for Greece. This progress is fully aligned with our continuing efforts to enhance our visibility globally, including the ongoing process for the upgrade of the Greek capital market to developed market status. Achieving this milestone would reflect the substantial reforms and growth achieved in recent years and would further strengthen the appeal of our market to international institutional investors. Within this context, the Capital Link Invest in Greece Forum plays a vital role in strengthening dialogue between Greece and the global investment community, attracting foreign capital and supporting the investment needs of the real economy. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Nikos, Olga, and the entire Capital Link team for their dedication in organizing this high-impact event, which continues to promote Greece as a compelling investment destination. As we look ahead to 2026, we remain resolute in our mission to reinforce the role of the Athens Stock Exchange as a leading European market, aligned with Euronext's federal model, driving innovation, sustainability, and growth, and expanding opportunities for investors, companies, and the broader economy. Thank you all for your continued support. I wish you a highly productive and successful forum, and I look forward to seeing many of you in person in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to thank all the sponsors of the forum. In particular, I'd like to thank Goldman Sachs and Dimitri Kofitsas, Morgan Stanley, Konstantinos Kostopoulos, and I'd like to ask Nikos Tsakos to come and give us a brief. Nikos has been a main sponsor of this event for 27 years. So, thank you, Nikos.
I was a child. Kalispera, Your Excellencies, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure, as Nick reminded us, to host you here for the 27th time, and it's so important. I think the only parallel with this table is Windsor Castle, the German Chancellor's visit. You need to put a Christmas tree there. It's really a great gathering. And it certainly feels like Christmas, as the song goes, when Nikos and Olga Bornozi brings us together. And by the way, Nick, happy name day to you. You know how important St. Nikolas is. And happy name day to our Minister, Niki Kerameos. And congratulations for a great event that you and your colleagues put yesterday. I think it was very impressive to have Greek Americans from all over the United States coming to find out the changes in Greece and be intrigued by things that are happening in Greece. I would say it was the best speed dating I've ever attended. It was really very good. A special welcome to our ministers, to our vice president, and all the Greek colleagues that came all the way in increasing numbers and substance to fill the bridge that you are creating together. But more importantly also, thank you very much for the attention of the US delegation and administration. Having you here, it's a great honor and pleasure meeting you. Being in the energy transportation segment ourselves, it is very reassuring to see that this vital part of the world economy, the US administration is paying more attention. As you may know, Greeks represent 30+% of that energy, and like in the past, like during World War II and all the crises, Greek shipping is always on the side of the United States, and I believe together we can do great things. And thank you very much again, Nick, and congratulations for keeping us all together. Thank you, and enjoy.
Dear friends, now for the next half hour we can have lunch. I'd like to say before closing how grateful we are to our ambassador Katerina Nasika and to Ifigenia Kanara, our Consulate General in New York. Really, seriously, I mean, I have to say, in our business, to get things done, we knock on a lot of doors. Their door has always been very open. They have always been very devoted to promoting Greece and helping us. So I'd like to say their ambassador and their consul general a huge thank you from us. Thank you. And tonight, for those of you who will join us at dinner, we have the opportunity to honor Achilleas Kontopoulos, the president of Temes. We're honoring Achilleas for his critical role in promoting Greece to the global community. With his own example, with his own investments and his family's investments, has raised the profile of Greece internationally, attracting a lot of capital into Greece. He's also been a huge promoter of Hellenism. So thank you, and we'll have the chance tonight to pay our respects to you. Now I have the unique privilege to invite to the podium the Vice President of the Greek government, His Excellency Kostis Hatzidakis. I would like to thank him for leading the Greek delegation at our forum. The Vice President has honored us several times over the years with his presence, so I'm grateful to him for being with us. Mr. Vice President, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
Deputy Assistant Secretary, Mr. Volz, thank you for coming. Dear colleagues, dear Greek colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I would like, first of all, to express my thanks to Nikos and Olga Bornozis for inviting me once again. Here, it is a pleasure to address the 27th Capital League Invest in Greece Forum. And after listening to the Prime Minister's message, in order not to repeat the same things, I would like to start with a simple quiz. Let's assume we ask citizens in the streets, when you think of Greece, what comes to your mind? Many of them will say probably the Parthenon. Correct answer. It's a masterpiece that has survived 2,500 years. Also, a lot will probably say the islands. Also, correct, Greece is a top destination for tourism. Our islands and seas are known around the world. If I asked you before lunch, in view of the lunch, your answer would be the food. Now you are not hungry any longer, but the Greek cuisine is very well known everywhere. But let me add something new, something that was definitely not on the list a few years ago. Greece is today one of the strongest economic turnarounds in Europe. And it has become well known for this positive surprise, for this turnaround. A comeback after 10 years severe crisis. A comeback almost nobody saw coming. It wasn't easy. Back in 2019, the government of Kyriakos Mitsotakis undertook an effort which was almost Herculean. It was our government that did something rare in modern Greek politics, though obvious. It welcomed investments, it welcomed entrepreneurs, and actually pressed the start button on the economy. And today, this progress is recognized far beyond our borders. The IMF sees it. The European Commission sees it. The rating agencies acknowledge it. And respected global outlets, Bloomberg, The Economist, today The Economist, once again, they underline this progress too. They are all telling the same story. Greece is bouncing back. Greece has the fastest reduction of public debt in Eurozone's history and borrows today at lower rates than Italy and France. Over the last 6 years, 83 taxes have been reduced, including corporate tax and dividend tax. Between 2019 and 2025, there has been an increase in investments in Greece by 96%, ladies and gentlemen, versus 5% in the euro area. Greece is now growing at more than twice the European average. This was not achieved through draconian austerity, but through a business-friendly approach and combating tax evasion. But today, I'm not here to repeat what we have achieved. I'm not here to tell you that we are one of the four European countries that will deliver surpluses instead of deficits this year. One of the four, I repeat, European countries. I'm not here to repeat that the NPLs ratio has reached the European average. The European average. We started from above 40% some years ago, and that Greek banks are once again strong and focused on their main job, financing the real economy. I'm not here to tell you that we have been taking decisive steps with the digital transformation of the state, and other European countries are impressed by the progress made in this sector. I'm also not here to tell you that we have doubled exports compared to the pre-crisis periods, and that we created more than 500,000 jobs in a country with 10 million population. What happened in Greece over the last 6 years is what I call a common sense revolution. That's why today's Greece is a totally different country than it was in the previous decade. It is actually a success story. It is the definition of success story. That is why the Greek Minister of Finance this week is one of the two candidates for the post of the Eurogroup chairman. That, I think, indicates the progress made over the last 6.5 years. But my speech today is basically about the future, ladies and gentlemen. It is about the choices we make from this point forward and the opportunities for potential investors in Greece. It is about how we'll further strengthen our competitiveness, how we'll attract even more investments, how we'll build an even brighter future for our country. And the answer is clear. Sustained commitment to fiscal discipline and reforms. Fiscal discipline will remain the foundation of our economic policy because we know that this is a necessary requirement for the credibility of our economy, of our country, and a proof that we've learned the lessons of the past, that we are determined not to waste the progress made, not to waste the sacrifice of the Greek people. But reforms are equally important because they are the path for us to become stronger and more competitive than today. Because common sense reforms make business easier for those who invest. They make our country a magnet for talent and innovation, a logistics and connectivity hub, a country that uses its ancient and creative DNA to build a truly modern future. Because our ambition exceeds our current achievements, and our aim for Greece is to be among the protagonists in the whole European Union. So let me tell you what comes next. Let me tell you how we'll write this next chapter for Greece. The chapter that can lift our economy to another level with purpose and determination. Which are our basic objectives? First of all, further targeted tax cuts. So work is rewarded, investment is encouraged, and innovation has space to grow. Secondly, less bureaucracy for businesses as we continue to simplify procedures and open the way for ideas to flourish. 4,000 different administrative processes are in line for simplification or even abolishment. And to make this possible, we will not rely only on legal and technical advice, but also on AI tools. But our effort is not only about further reducing taxation and cutting red tape. We started addressing long-standing problems of our judicial system by simplifying the process and using new digital tools. We have already cut trials length by half in first instance courts, and by 2027, final decisions will be issued in 650 days, which is Europe's average. A huge step forwards. After addressing also structural problems of our banking sector, which is now fully competitive and supporting the real economy, we further strengthen our capital market so companies can raise funds, expand, and compete on equal terms with the best of Europe. The recent acquisition of the Athens Stock Exchange by Euronext will act as a catalyst in this respect. And of course, we prioritize major investments in infrastructure, energy grids, and digital networks. Ancient Greece once built temples and fleets. Modern Greece will build startups, laboratories, tech factories, and clean energy hubs. And a more outward-looking economy driven by exports, technology, and the creativity of our people. Dear friends, for many decades, this is not a secret, American companies didn't invest in Greece. They simply didn't consider Greece a particularly investment-friendly country. As I have already highlighted, this has changed since 2019, and it hardly needs my emphasis anymore. I'm not sure I need to try so hard because they are already convinced. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Pfizer, Cisco. This proves that since 2019, major American companies have been coming and investing in Greece. In fact, this means that everything I've told you so far has not been a Greek mythology. Moreover, in recent months, we have concluded several important energy agreements, Mr. Volz. The agreements with Chevron and Exxon, two global energy giants, on hydrocarbon exploration represent a strong vote of confidence in our country. And the agreement with Venture Global makes Greece a key entry point for American LNG into southeastern and central Europe. Greece's geopolitical position is significantly strengthened. So is Europe's energy security. And all these developments is a further proof, an additional proof, that there is an excellent cooperation between the Trump administration and the Hatzidakis government. But allow me to say something more. And I believe that I don't exaggerate. Mr. Volz will speak later. Nowadays, with the agreements signed, especially those concerning the American LNG Europe, the US and Greece reshape to some extent the energy future of the European Union as a whole. We change the energy map in our continent. Dear friends, our bilateral relations with the US are at their highest level, and they will continue to expand in the coming months and years. And our goal, through everything we have already done and everything we are going to do, is to attract even more American investment to Greece, because Greece has become a very attractive investment destination. Of course, shipping and tourism have been up to now the basic driving forces for the Greek economy. They will continue to be so. Greek ship owners hold 20% of the global fleet, and Greece is among the top 10 tourist destinations worldwide. Allow me to add energy to the comparative advantages of Greece as regards investments. I don't refer only to the recent agreements signed between the Greek and American companies, Greece has been a front runner in green transition. In 2024, we generated more than 50% of our electricity from renewables. We became a net exporter of electricity for the first time after many years. Energy interconnection projects, electricity interconnection projects with Egypt, Cyprus, and Israel are underway. And with that in mind, allow me to highlight 4 sectors that may be of further interest to American companies and funds. First of all, strategic infrastructure and connectivity. Greece is at crossroads between Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It provides access to major trade corridors and international supply chains. As a result, it offers significant opportunities for investment in transport and logistics. Secondly, defense and high technology. Greece has companies that in recent years have become increasingly active in this field with pioneering technologies. In parallel, the European Union decided to significantly increase its defense budget. That creates new opportunities to join international consortia, major procurement programs, and high-tech engineering projects. It is a sector that always has the talent, and now it also has the potential to excel. Thirdly, innovation, research, and a competitive R&D environment. Since 2024, our R&D incentives are among the best, probably the best in Europe, including amortization rates of up to 315%. Investors are responding. Tech companies, startups, and research labs are already setting up in Greece. I believe that modern Greece will soon become very well known for its startups and AI companies. In fact, 10% of the top European scientists dealing with AI are of Greek origin. So this is one more additional comparative advantage for our country. Fourthly, higher education opening to the world. Recently, a major reform has been adopted, allowing non-state-owned universities to come to Greece and expand their activities. For the first year, foreign universities have committed to establishing campuses in Greece, 4 so far, with more expected. It is a quiet but important change. It brings new ideas, new people, and stronger research capabilities into our system. And it shows that Greece is becoming a place where global talent can study and work. Many opportunities in Greece. In some areas you probably don't suspect. Dear friends, as I said, several American companies started investing in Greece. I see many reasons for other American companies to follow their example. Greece now offers something investors value deeply: political stability, determination to press ahead with all the necessary structural reforms, and a government that remains consistently pro-investment. These issues may sound simple, but in today's Europe, they are far from certain. In many European countries, predictability has become a rare commodity. that makes Greece's stability a distinct competitive advantage. It gives investors confidence that decisions will be steady, policies will stay consistent, and long-term plans will be really implemented. Greece has turned the corner, and now we look ahead with confidence. We have stability, momentum, and a business-friendly policy. We are building a future that is more dynamic, more innovative, and more outward-looking. A future where Greece stands stronger within Europe and brighter in the world. And we do so as a credible European Union member state, as the most reliable US ally in the Eastern Mediterranean. Dear friends, as I said at the beginning, Greece is very well known for its history. You know Greece for its ancient philosophers, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and others. You also know Greece for Alexander the Great, and more recently here in the US for the Greek freak Yianos Antetokounmpo, one of the best players in the NBA. The Greek delegation here, the ministers, the bankers, the ship owners, the entrepreneurs, all of us have one more additional ambition, to add one additional reason why Greece comes to your mind, because Greece is one of the best destinations in the world to invest. Thank you so much.
Before I turn over the microphone to the Deputy Assistant Secretary, it's also Volz, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy, I'd like to thank him for being with us today. And I'd like to say two things, that our forum aims to to accelerate the investment rate inflow into Greece. Yesterday we had an event, as Dr. Tsakos mentioned, that wants to accelerate the repatriation of of Greeks into Greece, back into Greece. And as Minister Kerameros said yesterday, the Greece of today has nothing to do with the Greece of yesterday or the day before yesterday. And the Vice President, very detailed manner, gave us a lot of background on that. The second thing I'd like to say is that we have been holding this event for 27 years, and we always talk about Greece's strategic position. So most of these years we have been referring to Greece's strategic position in terms of potential. Well, right now we can refer to Greece's position as a matter of reality. And I think the presence of the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy, Mr. Volz, is going to give us a lot of background of why Greece has made it really in terms of strategic location and how we're cashing into that for the benefit of the world, not just for Greece.
Nikolas, Olga, thank you so much. Mr. Vice President, esteemed ministers, thank you so much for having me. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my dear friend, Ambassador Nasika. For all of you, as a Washingtonian, I can tell you that you have no finer representative for the Hellenic Republic than Ambassador Nasika, and the energy that she's brought to the relationship between the United States and Greece. So thank you very much for everything you've done. So I remember I was a young officer on my first tour in Iraq, and I had to go brief the commanding general and the ambassador, and I had no idea what to do. And I looked at the person that was escorting me into the room, and I said, what the hell am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to do this? And he said, advice that I will never forget. He said, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. And I will endeavor to do at least two of those things for you here today, as I know that we've had a lot of incredible remarks, and there's a lot more to come. So first, let me set the stage about where we are and where we find ourselves in this moment in history, which is unique by definition and by determination. The The Vice President very articulately talked about the energy deals that have been done and signed in recent weeks between American companies, Greek companies, further underscoring and further drawing together the ties between the Hellenic Republic and the United States. The benefits of these deals are obvious. They're removing the continent from the threat of malign coercion, which has been used through the tool of energy by those who seek to take away choice from our friends and allies rather than increase that choice. The ability to provide abundance and not to plan for scarcity are the things that underpin the deals that have been done in recent days with energy. But let me be clear, the challenges also remain large, and that's what we're here to do together. They say that if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone. But we have to go far and we have to go fast, and I would posit that the only way that we do that is, in fact, together. By November 1st, 2027, the EU has committed to eliminating all Russian energy resources from the United Kingdom and the United States of Europe. That is not a small commitment. 36 BCMA has to be added to the European energy economy in less than 2 years. Again, a tremendous opportunity, but not something that's going to happen easily or not something that's going to happen without a tremendous amount of collaboration and coordination. Some of these deadlines actually take place before that point. And so, again, to go far and to go fast, we must go together. To meet that challenge, there is a tremendous opportunity before us. We like to talk about that opportunity as being an opportunity that is private sector led and public sector enabled. And that's one of the reasons that it was so important for me to be here to speak with this audience, because it is not without the private sector that we will be able to achieve the aspirations that our senior leaders and our politicians have set forth for a secure and stable and prosperous Europe. The LNG that comes from the United States is not just an energy resource, but it is a commitment to a long-term relationship between the United States and between Europe. And if we are to unlock that potential, there is no place that is going to play a larger role in unlocking that potential than Greece. The comparative advantage that the Vice President talked about in terms of geography, in terms of technical expertise, in terms of the world's preeminent shipping industry. These are all the comparative advantages that make Greece one of the most important partners for all of Europe in transitioning away from those Russian resources. Getting a lot of additional LNG into Europe is, in such a short time frame, is going to take a lot of creativity. It's going to take a public-private partnership that works faster and more efficiently and more in sync than any public-private partnership that we have seen thus far. There's no shortage of examples of what can be done when the public sector and the private sector work together. But the speed and the magnitude that we need to see to achieve the aspirations that we have as the United States to help our friends and allies remove the malign influence of Russian resources in Europe, and the aspirations and political determination that has been set forth by our European leaders to do that, that is unprecedented. Secretary Wright talks about this opportunity in the same terms as the Manhattan Project and the collaboration that is necessary to bring that to fruition. Big things happened out of the Manhattan Project, as you know, housed at the Department of Energy, and big things are going to happen with our partnership with Greece, housed at the Department of Energy. The U.S.-Greek trade relationship has played a historic pivotal role in helping the Eastern Mediterranean and the Western Balkans continue to grow. The statistics that the Vice President laid out are incredible in nature. And while Europe may have only grown by 5% in taxation and 96% in Greece, I think that the people in this room and the people in Athens were very heartened to hear that some of that relief is also on the way as well. So, with that comes a tremendous amount of opportunity to encourage additional investment in Greece. The vertical corridor is something that you're going to start to hear a lot about, and that's the construction of energy infrastructure leading from Greece all the way north into Ukraine. And I want to be clear that these are not new opportunities. These opportunities have existed for decades. What is new are the circumstances surrounding those opportunities. The commitment that Europe has made to move away from Russian resources, the tremendous opportunity at a terrible cost in the further invasion, Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the destruction that that has wrought, the demonstration that energy is going to continue to be used as a weapon of the future. We look no further than the vast majority of targeting from drone attacks, from missiles fired from Russia into Ukraine, targeting energy infrastructure. If we don't get energy right, we will continue to remain weakened, and we will continue to remain vulnerable to those who do not share our Western liberal democratic ideals and values. And as the United States, we see it as a tremendous obligation and a tremendous opportunity to stand shoulder to shoulder with our friends and allies in Europe, especially in Greece, to fight that fight. A lot is going to be required to operationalize the opportunity. Physical upgrades to infrastructure will be required. And despite having such an advantageous location, Greece has only the 7th largest LNG import capacity in Europe. So if we're going to take advantage of the geography and the political element of commitment that exists between Washington and Athens, we're going to have to build a lot of stuff. And the ability to bring additional resources from the United States into Greece and to be able to push those resources throughout that vertical corridor, helping energy-stranded countries like Moldova, like Bosnia-Herzegovina, Greece is going to have to build, and build a lot. And there's a tremendous opportunity for Greek shipping to carry those molecules from the United States into Greece, not only to serve the Greek market, but to serve all of the vertical corridor and our partners and allies that desire those additional options and what needs to be done to meet those Euro-Atlantic aspirations. Addressing the EU-wide non-tariff trade barriers are going to be incredibly important. The methane regulations that will allow American resources to flow into Europe at a cost-competitive basis are going to be incredibly important as well. So there is the soft side of things, the policy and the regulatory frameworks, and there's the hard infrastructure that has to be built. Both have to work hand in hand. The regional cooperation between Greece, the United States, and Greece's regional neighbors is longstanding. We look at the 3+1 construction with Greece playing a leading role with Israel and Cyprus and the United States as the like-minded democracies in the region to unlock the ability to further cooperation and drive economic growth has been well documented. And energy has laid at the heart of that collaboration and that cooperation. But it's not the state that's been out delivering and discovering and developing these resources, it's the private sector. And it's the clear political direction and direction of travel that comes from senior leadership that this is something that we support, that we want to see US, Greek, Cypriot, Israeli companies developing these energy resources and using that energy to bind us together rather than create flashpoints for conflict. You know, in every scenario, in every conversation, every negotiation I've ever been a part of, it's binary in nature. You have but two options. You can either escalate that engagement or you can de-escalate that engagement. And historically, energy resources have been used to escalate conflict. And what we are trying to do is change conflict into commerce and use those energy resources to drive opportunity and to bring people together, not to divide. And so that optionality and those commercial opportunities really lie at the heart of the US administration's energy policy. Let me be very clear also about that, because I think there's some misunderstanding about what the administration's energy policies are. We're not against windmills, unless they're on golf courses. We're not against solar panels. We're against any decision that is going to take energy away and not add energy to the system, because energy is what drives the ability to better human lives. We have not, and I am certainly not expert when it comes to the finer points of technology, and artificial intelligence and data centers are something that are buzzwords that are kicked around a lot in conversation these days. What I do understand, though, is that it's energy that will be the greatest rate limiting factor in our ability to power those data centers and change the world. So we have to get energy right. Our cooperation is not going to be just limited to the opportunities in the vertical corridor, but the vertical corridor is a platform that's going to allow us to continue that collaboration and to draw ourselves closer as a partnership, an American Hellenic partnership, into providing, again, that optionality and that energy security that's necessary for economic growth and for the stability that creates that platform that's so attractive to investment from the private sector well beyond the specifics of energy. So with this, I want to just close by saying that, standing before us, we have a tremendous task, and that is figuring out how we work together more closely, faster, deliver concrete results, use energy to bring people together, not divide, and to use those things to deepen and strengthen the already incredibly strong relationship between the United States and the Hellenic Republic of Greece. I was talking to the Vice President and the Ambassador earlier, and one of the things that we see is sometimes is in an increasingly chaotic world, the relationships that we have that are going well sometimes get put on autopilot because there are so many other challenging things that we have to face and things that we have to deal with. But sometimes we need to come back to those relationships that are strong and explore what we can do to expand those relationships and take advantage of the ability to do more. And I think we see that moment right now. And I think you're going to continue to see a leveling up of the relationship between Greece and the United States, driven by a necessity geopolitically, driven by senior level commitments and political alignment, and the individual personalities within that system, both on the public and private side, that are going to be the catalysts for making this not a concept, but a reality. Thank you.